Is this a 256 or 257? I don't think they have the numbers on the sign.
In the back, sometime.
Yes, I am. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just start and stop a little
Nope,
bit.
you're good. I'll just edit it.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Brandon Johnson from Used Boats TV. And here at Heartland Marine, where I work and sell boats, we sell a ton of Chaparral 256 SSI bow riders. So what we're gonna do today is take you out and demonstrate one. We're gonna go through the operation, see how she performs, and that'll be it. So let's get started in 30 seconds. So once we have our beautiful 256 Chaparral in the water, so it's got to be in the water to run, we come back here underneath the starboard side aft seat. We go ahead and flip our battery switches to both. Now the alternator is going to keep both batteries charged while we're boating. If we're going to stop, go out, listen to the radio, have some Capri Suns in the sun fun, whatever you want to say, switch it to 1 or 2. That way we have all of our radio and lighting and whatever else the kids want to bump and touch isolated to a single standalone battery. Now, if we're ready to go, we got to start it. We'll get the old click, 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 switch to the other battery. We're good to go. When you're done for the day, shut it off. Coming up to this gorgeous Helm on this 2010 SSX. In order to try to keep this video short and confined to specifically what we're doing and checking the performance and operation, I'm going to include a bunch of links in the description below. So people always say, I don't know where to see those. You got the window here, and below the window, there's a drop-down arrow on your right side. Click that arrow, and then you'll see a bunch of links to videos I make, like how to operate, tilt, and trim, what to do when your boat won't start, the best boat vinyl cleaner, which is the butt seat spray, just a bunch of cool stuff. But our battery switch is drawn, we're in neutral, kill switch is up, turn the key, and she fires right up. Alrighty then, now that we're started, we got tilt wheels, we can kind of set this wherever we want it. Let's look at our buttons and switches and gauges. Blower, that ventilates the engine compartment. Horns right here. Navigation light, driving at night, all the way up. That's a white light built in up top, the red and green up front. In the middle's off, anchor light all the way down, stopped at night. Bilge pump, now this is automatic. The National Marine Manufacturers Association that governs how boats are built says all boats have to have that switch even though you don't use it. Docking lights are the headlights up front. Engine room lights, hopefully you don't need those. Courtesy lights are the lights on the inside, blue LEDs. That's how you know they're good. Underwater lights, if it has them, underneath the water, self-explanatory. Water pressure, I never recommend using it because it smells like sewage in the summertime. Right here, we have our captain's call exhaust. So keep in mind, you only want to switch that at idle speed. The manual says 1800 RPM. So you're choosing how your motor kicks out water and exhaust, which is using to keep the motor cool. But for now, we're going to turn it off. We'll turn it back on here in a minute. Engine hatch, this is electric. So once again, this bad gal has the 8.1 GI Volvo, is 375 horsepower. This is the big block option for this specific gear. You can also have 5.7 GXIs, you can have 5.7 GIs, 350 mag MPIs, 6.2 mag MPIs, or the Mercruiser 496 mag or mag HO. As long as it's a big block, you got a lot of torque, that's how you know it's good. Here's our captain's call exhaust, here, automatic fire suppression system, batteries, tank for the toilet, because this has the fancy vacuum flush toilet. Coming back up to the helm, we have our stereo remote control right here, and it works really good. Right here, we have our trim tabs, so that makes them go up or down. Right here's our shifter. So before we take off, it's always important to get comfortable. And when you're learning how to work a boat, I always say, first thing you need to do is get used to how it shifts. Just come out here in the middle of the lake where you can't hit anything. Go in gear, out of gear. Just see how that feels. Be sure to refer to the video that I include down below on how to dock a boat in a slip, how to back a boat in a slip, I should say, because that'll really help you get comfortable. But before we accelerate, one thing I always like to point out is I've had a lot of customers that as they accelerate, they keep the finger on the trim up button, and that raises the drive out of the water. The props are out of the water, you're not going anywhere. So don't do that. You have a definitive catch for forward, throttle range beyond that. Neutral's here, you only have to push the button in to go into gear. Reverse is here, throttle range beyond that. So let's look at our gauges. We have a fuel tank, of course, and that's our gauge for that. Right here's our LCD, and this will tell us a bunch of stuff that we need to know. Temps, batteries, coolant. There's no alarms. We can change what it says and what it shows. So we're just gonna let it set there on temperature. Right here we got a 4-in-1 gauge to declutter the dash. We have oil pressure, engine temp, tilt and trim, or just trim I should say. That's our out drive. Going up and our out drive. Going down, right here we have our volt gauge. Right here we have our speedometer. So now that we know what our buttons and switches do, I'm gonna go ahead and take the camera from Mr. Bill here, and we're gonna start off by finding a comfortable cruise speed. Here we are. We are at a dead stop to find our cruise speed. All right, so a fella in the pontoon boat's about to get ran over. So we have 375 horsepower. Just kidding. All right, let's let him go. So for cruise speed, really finding a cruise speed all depends on what boat you're driving and what you feel comfortable with. People ask me all the time, what's the cruise speed? What speed do you like to cruise at? That's what I always say. But to find our cruise speed, we just like to find a speed that's comfortable when we're driving the boat. When the boat feels like, hey, I like this speed. And with a 496, trust me, you're gonna have a wide range of cruise speeds that you can feel comfortable with. What's really impressive is we haven't even hit 3,000 RPMs yet, and we're already on plane. I mean, that's incredible. And it's running nice and flat right here, dead center. So really, this is a comfortable cruise speed. Running right around in here in the middle teens, roughly, upper teens probably. But we can go a little faster too. We can cruise right around in here. Now the big block really likes to get up on top of the water, but we just got her trimmed down. Trim up and see how that feels. We're just doing clicks. Yeah, right there is real nice too. So now we've doubled our speed. We're running a little over 3,000 RPM, and all I did was give it 4 quick clicks on the trim up, and this is a nice comfortable cruise speed. As you can see, the boat's riding nice and solid, not hitting, missing, spitting, popping, or falling on its face. So now we know with the comfortable cruise speed and how to operate it is. Let's see how this bad gal does for water sports. Now this does have the arch option. As you can see, and way up there you have a tow point on top of the arch. Some arches are just for looks, so that doesn't mean tow behind anything. It's got to be made for it, really. All right, let's get turned back around here. So for water sports, you never want to hurt anybody. You never want to go too crazy, but you want to idle forward to get the slack out of the line. Once you have the slack out of the line, I always like to use my pointer finger. Is that what that one is? Yeah, and my thumb, and I just get that on the throttle, like so. I'll get my slack out, and then I just like to see where we need to go. So I'll go ahead and push it, and the way this boat runs to the big block, we immediately start to come back out. Otherwise, we're gonna be running 40 miles an hour with a 4-year-old screaming, slow down, daddy. We don't want that. So right here, comfortable cruise speed. So all I did is I went down. As soon as I felt the boat grab the water, I started to come back up. So right in this speed range is ideal for water sports. Whether you're tubing, kneeboarding, skiing, whatever, this is comfortable. Now that we're here, and remember, we're trimmed all the way down, let's see what our top speed is. Pushing her hard, baby. Grip it and rip it. The 496 in this model just keeps wrapping up and wrapping up and wrapping up. It's extremely powerful. Putting off a beautiful wake there, and it's a nice calm day at the Lake of the Ozarks for once. So trim down right here. This is when we're putting the hardest load on the boat. We're forcing that nose down. If it were to hit, miss, pop, spit, sputter, fall on its face, this is the speed it would do it, and it is smooth and comfortable. It's a very great model. Now, find top speed, let's trim up. So as we trim up, we're actually getting those propellers out of the water, letting that nose come up. We're really gonna release and take off. Oh yeah. See, you can really see it release here with your speed. Letting the boat come up, our forward momentum's really getting us up on top of the water. And I'm just pushing it. See, 1, 2, 3. Woo, it got smooth right there, didn't it? Very smooth running boat. So the trim gauge is a little slow to read. You can see we're about 1/8 up. typically just an adjustment. Now we're at about a quarter roughly. We're starting to porpoise right here. Just a little bit. So to stop that, I'm going to trim down and I'm going to turn out of it. And I'm going to straighten this back out. And that goes away. See how I did that? So this is a very, very good riding, good running boat. So this boat also has trim tabs. In the description below, be sure to check out a video where I show you how to operate those. But as you can see, Chaparral 256, and I don't really care what motor's in it, it's just a great all-around multi-purpose family boat. Now with the 496, yes, you do have a lot of power. So if you got a great big old family, you don't have to worry about performance whatsoever like this one. But even then, 6.2, 5.7 GXI 350, it all runs pretty good. So now what I want to do, now that we know how to operate it real good, we're going to go throw it back on the trailer. We know it performs well. We're going to flip on the exhaust and take you for a ride with us. Let's go. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to show you how she handles in a tight turn. You holding on good, Bill? I forgot to trim down. Always trim back down before you take off. Sorry, kids. For all you kids at home watching, that was a dumb move on my part. Oh, that exhaust sounds good though. All right, slow down a little bit. Don't go too crazy. Let's see how she holds true in a turn. You holding on, Bill?
Yep.
I don't want your wife mad at me for wet clothes. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Look at that. Oh yeah, look how tight our turning radius is. That was awesome. That was seriously awesome. Very smooth steering. See? I can turn it smooth, but it stays in place. That's always a good sign. Let's open her up. We're gonna trim up and really take off here. This boat is awesome. It's also very quiet. Nothing shaking, rattling. Carpet's blown up a little bit, but that's what happens when you put a big ass motor in a family boat. If that happens in your boat, you can always get some marine grade double-sided Velcro. Any spot it's catching, you can do it. See how this boat really rides nice and flat and sturdy, steady? I'm not touching anything at all. Very nice. That was a fun boat ride for sure. Even though it's 100 degrees outside and I'm fat, it was definitely a fun boat ride. Well, we're gonna go throw this back on trailer. Thank you so much for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't. My name is Brandon. We're gonna finish this video up with some drone footage. I'll see you on the water. And for anybody that doesn't know, this is Bill. We've been best friends since we were little kids. Say hi, Bill. He's our cameraman. And this is Wild Bill's dad.
Hi.
Throw it back on, Bill.
good old